I keep thinking about the scripture. There's a way that feels right to man, but in the end leads to death. And that, it's been on my mind so much. It's so vague in the Bible. So it's got to point to something else. And so to me, it points to looking at the Bible. What is this way that's right to man, and what is this way that's right to God? One of the things that I've thought about is all the comparisons. Like I said in another post, man is all about convenience. What is convenient for him? The pride of man, he can figure it out on his own. I don't need anybody above me telling me what to do. I will figure out this life, what's good for me, and I will work in my relative system of rules, and that's it. So, crime, sex before marriage, abortion, divorce, lust, the sexual revolution, cheating, lying, gossip, all those things that are listed in, Paul says that people that practice these won't enter in the kingdom of heaven. Those are things that people use to gain advantage. People lie to gain advantage. You think of politicians. People want to feel loved, or they want the feeling of they enjoy sex, so they have sex before marriage instead of making a lifelong commitment, instead of saying that they're going to bring the whole body, the whole person, the whole life, and then enjoy the sex within that committed relationship. Instead they sleep around and they fragment their heart, and they bond all these people, and they become disillusionized. That's why God says sexual sin is, against you. You're hurting yourself because you're connecting with all these people, and then you break those bonds. Abortion. We had all the sex. We got pregnant. We don't want it. It's an inconvenience for us. So in our eyes, it's the right thing to do so we can prosper. We can do what we want instead of looking at the big picture that God values life. And we made the situation. We need to stop and think about what is the right move at this point now. Is to value life and live with consequences. Divorce. I don't feel loved anymore. I don't feel the love. I'm not in love with her. It's all feelings based. Man. I was talking about feelings based. With divorce, you don't feel the love anymore. You're going back on that commitment. God never goes back on a commitment. He doesn't want us to either. He wants us to be as good as our word. So scientifically, we've pretty much come to the conclusion now that the in-love feeling, the honeymoon, the romance phase is a year, 6 months, 18 months, 2 years, somewhere in that area. It's not a lifetime. And those feelings start to fade, and there's endorphins and dopamines and tons of chemicals that make you kind of see with rose-tinted glasses and think more highly of your prospective spouse, and truly they are. There's issues there. I would like to believe that God kind of creates that and that intense feeling to get us in love, and then it turns into a choice, and a lot of people are going back on that choice. Same with the family structure. Like God says, if you don't take care of your family, you're worse than an unbeliever. You need to raise your kids. They will be lost. That is a mystery to me, how kids have this inherent desire to want to be close to their mom and dad. They also have this inherent desire to have selfishness. So they're born with sin, but they're also born with this aching to feel loved. And now that I'm 35, you have this aching to feel loved your whole life. And if you can't kind of grow up and mature and get it from God, at some point, you're going to depend on your spouse and stuff. So if you never get that from your parents, if you never get a taste of it, a foundation of love, of discipline, of justice, of leadership and guidance and values, if you never get that from your parents, you are just starving for it for life. That's why a lot of the people that have divorced families and women from fatherless homes are very promiscuous. They're chasing after that loving feeling. And the physical one is the easiest one to get. Emotionals, tough, spirituals, probably the last, So it's convenience to go be promiscuous, to try to get that love. But I can understand why people do it if they're from fatherless homes and there's a cycle there. It is convenient to be greedy. It is convenient to try to make a lot of money and be a workaholic and build a safe, secure world for yourself, which what you can see in the physical sense, instead of trusting God for your needs and giving and valuing relationships. And if you see somebody in need, you give to them, you help them instead of hoarding, because you can't take it with you. It's an old saying, but I think it is convenient. It's comforting to have a lot of security, to have a lot of money. You feel like you can control your destiny. You're not. You're not. And what you can actually do is a lot of good with their resources and money. You can get a lot of other people excited about God, living a better life. You can make friends. It's a win-win-win. It's crazy. And yet we hoard and we hide. What else is convenient? We're overweight in America. We don't take care of our bodies. It's convenient. Convenient fast food. And the body's a temple. Body's the temple of the Spirit. And God has to take care of it, because we shouldn't be dying of diseases that are preventable. And that's a gray area. God tells us to enjoy life. So we're going to have a dessert. We're going to have a glass of wine and eat a nice meal and connect with friends. But if you are going to food to fill the void of loneliness, of emptiness, of kind of consolation, you got an issue. And that's food, drink, and drug. That's trying to replace God with some other natural high, some other feeling, or not natural high, like in your chemical system in your body. And that's addictive, and addictions need to be looked at and cared for with a lot of grace and truth. And then, it's convenient to go to the bottle. It's convenient to go to porn and to go to drugs. And then your brain gets wired and gets addicted. It's convenient. It's much harder to go to God. And if you don't have a foundation, it's really hard. So I've kind of drifted into a lot of grace and truth here. Side note, I know Celebrate Recovery is pretty much the best proven model for people to get out of that. The Rick Warren addictions program out of Saddleback Church. I'm sure there's others too. I know AA is a secular one, but apart from God, you can do nothing. And a God-centered recovery program would be great for those people that are struggling with addiction. And then get them in community. All right, we'll wrap it up there today.